Hello, this video will be an introduction to how we teach Danish at Sønderborg International School. The first thing I want to go through is the difference there is between the Danish public school system and our school, because there are some differences that you should be aware of. In a Danish public school, they teach Danish as a first language, and English is taught as a second language. At our school, we teach English and Danish as our first language. At SIS, we teach English from year 1. In the public school system, they will teach English from year 2. We have German as a subject from year 4. In the Danish public schools, they have German in year 6. We have Spanish as a subject from year 10, but in the Danish public school, they do not teach Spanish. We start having history already in year 1, but in the public school system, they start history at year 4. We teach religion at our school. That subject is not a thing in the Danish public school system. Instead, they teach Christianity or Kristendom. Science starts already in year 1 at Sønderborg International School, whereas in the public school system, they start science from year 3. Science is a very important subject at SIS. Therefore, we teach physics, chemistry, and biology already in year 6. We take the students to the lab and train them in there. This will not happen until year 8 in the public school system. We have 4 to 5 Danish lessons per week. At the Danish public school system, this number is higher, with 6 to 7 Danish lessons per week, and at some schools more. However, we have 5 English lessons per week, whereas the Danish public school system will give 2 to 3 English lessons per week. We do have the subject Danish as a second language or Danish support lessons, which is 2 extra lessons per week for the students who needs more support in this subject. This is not an option in the Danish public school system. All students take the FP9 Danish exam. This is the same exam that the Danish public school system offers to their students, and all of our students is taking the same exam. There is no Danish as a second language exam. It does not exist. All students need to take this test. We are teaching Danish as a first language to all students. Therefore, DSL is extra support lessons, not a different subject. The FP9 exam consists of 3 parts. There is a written essay, a reading and spelling test, and an oral exam. Passing this exam allows the students to move on to other parts of the Danish school system. You also are able to move on to the Danish gymnasium. However, the Danish gymnasium is requiring you to take an extra test to get into the gymnasium. That has nothing to do with the Danish exam at our school. It has more to do with the fact that we are offering Cambridge and not the Danish tests in other subjects. So it is basically because we are a private school and the government has decided that all schools that are not doing the Danish public schools exams have to do the optagelsesprøve, which is the test to see if you can get into gymnasium. However, all of our students have found this test to be extremely easy and not difficult at all, so I would not worry about that. I also want to talk about the teaching methods that we are using during Danish lessons. Of course, we are using class discussion, individual work, and we do a lot of games, especially in the primary. Games will focus on all skills, and that is the main reason why they are there. Writing exercises is of course also a part of it. Using IT is also something that we do spend a lot of time on. The reason for this is because the exams in Danish will be held online and are only done on computers. We also use group work as much as possible, and then of course we are doing a lot of presentations. Presentations is a good way to use your Danish, and we do that quite a lot. We are trying to do 1 presentation each month in the classes from year 2 to year 5. We are not following a specific workbook in the lessons. We are instead using worksheets that is made by staff suited to our specific students. We have a lot of different levels in the same class that has to do the same topics and get the same out of the lesson, but in different levels. That's why we do a lot of the materials ourselves. We also use workbooks, which is a big part of how we are practicing grammar and reading as well. Workbooks are always suited to the specific students' levels, and that's why they will most likely be working in different workbooks. We also use quite a lot of online resources, as well as borrow novels from the public library system that all schools has an access to. That means that instead of having a book, a reading book that we go through, we have the actual novel, but we only have it for a short period of time. Homework. This year I am trying something new with the homework. Every day I want the students to try to read at least 15 minutes in a Danish book. The books can be found on frilæsning.dk or on eriolengo.dk. It's also okay to listen to a book instead of reading it. So listen to a sound book 15 minutes before bedtime every single day. That can be a very nice way to go to sleep. After you've done the reading, please record it in your læselog. The reading log will be provided. It's a piece of paper that you need to fill out every single time you've done your reading. The student will then hand it in to me by the end of the month and then receive a new piece of paper to fill out. I am also giving out homework every single Monday on grammatip.com. The assignment on Grammatip will always be a little exercise that has to do with some sort of grammar. It can be practicing the sounds of the alphabet, but it can of course also be more difficult, like putting in commas, full stops, stuff like that. The assignments on Grammatip has to be done by the following Friday, so you receive access to the assignments on Monday, and it needs to be done by the following Friday. If your child is part of the DSL program, getting them extra support in the Danish, then I also have the possibility of them receiving a extra schedule with little assignments that they can do at home. These activities are mostly focusing on listening and using the Danish in that way, so they are listening to the spoken language instead of maybe reading or doing grammar, because that is often what the DSL students need. The DSL lessons, Danish support lessons, are true lessons every single week. We will tell you if your child needs these extra lessons, but they are mostly for children who do not have Danish as a first language at home. So they need extra support where they train listening and speaking in Danish. DSL students do take the exact same test as students who are not part of the DSL lessons. During the normal Danish lessons, they do the same work as other students. So DSL is only a support lesson, it's just extra lessons. Also, try not to think of DSL lessons as something to get out of. Think of it as something that we do to help your child to make certain that they will pass the Danish exam and that they will do the best that they can. Finally, I want to talk a little bit about our results, because I do think that we can be quite proud of the Danish that we are providing here at our school. For the many last years, and it was also the case last year, 100% of the students who has taken a minimum of 2 years of Danish at our school, they pass the exams. Now we do have students who come in very late in their education, and of course these students do struggle with taking the Danish exam. It is a very difficult exam and it is at a very high level. However, if your child is already at school in the year 1 to 5 in the primary or middle school, you have nothing to worry about. They will pass the exam. We can almost guarantee it.
Of course, we cannot guarantee that they will get a 12 or 10 or whatever grade, but we can guarantee that they will almost most likely pass the exam, and they will get a level of Danish that they can use when they move on from here. If you have any questions about Danish at our school, please contact me, Mrs. Split, or Mr. Rumley. We will be happy to help and answer your questions to the best of our abilities. Thank you for listening.